Hello and welcome to this weekly drive. I am delighted to be here to help you navigate through the world of writing. Are you writing blogs? Are you journaling? Are you writing articles? Do you have the desire to become an author? Well, I'm here to guide you. My name is Brenda Dempsey, and I'm the CEO and founder of Brilliance Publishing. And what has come to my attention is that so many people want to become an author, and that is fantastic. And my job is to help you achieve that dream. But we have to really focus in on your writing, its style, the tone, the voice, and it's all okay. It doesn't matter where you are on your writing journey because we're here to guide you. We have editors and we're here to get that pen walking over the page with grace and to get your mind full of ideas from here onto that page with absolute ease and grace. So the weekly drive is all about looking at the art of writing, all different aspects of writing to get you putting that pen on the page or pencil and letting it do its merry dance across the page. Some of you might prefer using words, so therefore get your fingers typing. That's okay too. But journaling, there's something very special about it because it's a message from the brain to the hand, and that physicality and that kinesthetic movement across the page, that is something magical that happens to us. So this week's weekly drive is called Ink and Insights, the Art of Journaling. I kind of gave that away before I gave you the title of this drive. And I hope you're going to join me every week because we're going to be looking at all different ways to improve your skill as a writer. We want to take away any fear, writer's block, and just fall in love with the writing. Fall in love with the power of words, how they sound, how they feel, how they evoke energy, emotion. And that's what it's all about. Why have I started with journaling? Let's begin. Let's dive on in and let me share the screen. So let's hope that you can see this. So, as I said, you're the driver, we're the navigator at BBP. And journaling, the reason I wanted to start off with journaling is because there's all different types of journaling. The kind of journaling I want you to begin with is just the brain dumping journaling. It's not focusing on writing, spelling, punctuation. It doesn't need to be full sentences. It can be phrases, it can be pictures, it can be anything that gets your ideas from your head, from your heart onto that page. Absolutely. Maybe I should say from your heart, from your head. But I think it's head, heart onto the page for sure. So let's see what we're seeing this week. So whether you are a seasoned journaler or whether you've been thinking about it or not, let's just discuss how powerful it is for writers. All writers, doesn't matter if you've been journaling for 5 minutes, 5 years, 20 years, there's always something magical that takes place when you journal. It's very cathartic. It allows you to get these things out of your head. You know, one of the things was I was in education for 25 years, taught writing. So that absolutely puts me in a great spot to support you with your writing. And I worked in special needs. And one of the strategies we used, oh, this is 10, 15 years ago, was I worked with children with autism who they had anger issues. And we used journaling to help them get the anger out of them so that they could come back in and go on with their learning. So journaling, it improves your writing for sure. Doesn't matter where you start, you'll just get better. It's like everything else, it's a craft. The more you do it, the better you become. It fosters creativity. Ideas begin to come as you write things on the page. More ideas come. Never force them in the beginning. Let them come naturally. Let your emotion evoke the words and put them on the paper. We can always work on what's on paper later on. That's the power of editing. And again, one of the things, this is what I love about journaling, is it fosters self-awareness. Self-awareness is the gold, because you don't know what you don't know. Although you're living your life, we don't live our life in the beginning from the inside out. So we just live our life and things happen to us until one day you decide that's got to stop. Journaling's a great place to start, because you become self-aware of who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you stand for, what you stand against, all of those wonderful things. That's very important as a writer, as an author, as a human being. So important to do that. So, as I said, the benefits allow you to spark creativity. From one idea flows another idea, flows another idea. Sometimes they're connected, sometimes they're not. That's okay. How often are you just sitting and poof, a memory comes up from like 20 years ago and you think, where did that come from? But that's the power of the mind. These little sparks come up when the energy in the universe is trying to give us some messages, and we open up our hearts and we open up our minds to begin to understand that there's meaning to it. It's great for self-reflection. Absolutely. Write about your day, what you liked, what you didn't like, what annoyed you, what evoked joy, what made you cry, what got you angry. And then begin to, and the more you do it, the more you'll understand yourself. You'll be able to identify triggers that trigger you. But journaling is just getting that out of your whole being. Of course, improve your writing skills. Doesn't matter where you start. The longer you do it, the more you do it, the better your writing will become. And as I explained to you with our young fella who used it for anger issues, you can relieve stress. You can scribble a line, and you can write words, and you can do all sorts of things. You can be as creative and as artistic as you like. But the benefits of journaling, they're just a few. There's many more. So it's different forms of journaling. For me, the best journaling, I like brain dumping journaling. That's the best place to start. Just get it out, get it out, get it out. Then let's turn anything from that brain dumping into something that's a bit more focused. And the best thing that you can focus on is gratitude. It's about developing that attitude of gratitude. That will help you tap into the feeling of abundance, the feeling of happiness, the feeling that you have everything that you need right here and right now, as we all do. So you can write what you're thankful for all day. Some people do it at the beginning of the day, that sets them up for the day, it really lifts them. Or you might do it at the end of the day. Some people do top and tail, and they do it at both ends of the day. You have travel journals. If you're traveling, write that down in those experiences. And I tell you, I travel a lot, and it's really important to do that, because it's sometimes your memory just plays on you, especially as you're getting older. Another type of journaling I like, so we've got brain dump, gratitude, travel. I like dream day journaling, writing your most perfect day in the world. If you could get up and you could do anything you want, what would it be? Write it down, describe it. The thing, I'm going to move on because I don't want to jump in before. The thing about journaling is to make it a routine. So set aside 15 minutes, I've said here, but actually 10 minutes is equally good. So maybe you might start off at 5 minutes if you've never done it before. 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You don't need to be writing any great length of time. I would never write for any more than half an hour in the morning. That's just me. Someone else might tell you to write more. You don't need to do it, because it's about the consistency. It's about creating the habit. And when you create the habit, it's amazing how your life will change, how you will change from the inside out. So habits are everything. And consistency is the word. Always, no matter what you do, it's always about consistency to get better. Whether you're trying to lose weight, trying to get fit, trying to be better at your business, whatever it is, trying to be a better person, trying to put kindness into your life. When we create habits, our brain begins to expect it. We develop new neural pathways. So it's really important. So you can see here in this person's journal, like I was saying to you, You can scribble, you can write words, you can draw pictures, anything at all that will allow you to do it. The thing is to do it regularly. Now, you know what kind of person you are. I'm a morning person, so I prefer the morning. I do a form of journaling at night, but that's different. We could talk about that another time. So put a timer on so that you know, but really 10 to 15 minutes is enough. Or the other way to do it is, depending on your notebook, maybe you've got a notebook, it's this size, you might say, right, I'm writing a page, don't write any more. Then you might, my daydream journal is this size. So I use that for my daydream journal. I would use this for gratitude or any other kind of journaling, an A5 book. So you might just write, I just now write a page, I stop when I get to the page. You don't need to do any more than that. You might decide 2 pages, but a page is good enough. And I've learned through leadership that the phrase good enough is more than good. So there we go. Writing prompts. Maybe you might want to think of some prompts that you can have to help prompt what you want to write about. But as I said in the beginning, just write whatever comes into your head, whatever it is, whatever's annoying you, whatever you're feeling good about, whatever you're worried about, whatever you're trying to achieve. Anything and everything can go into journaling. So here, so sometimes, so it says here about writer's block, but there's no such thing as writer's block. It's just giving you time. If you feel you've got writer's block, just write your name, then start talking about yourself, and then it will spur something else on. So you might have prompts that say, describe a challenge you faced today and how you overcame it. Remember, it's 1 page, 10 minutes. Reflective journaling at the end of the day. But you can do reflective journal at any time. So, for example, if you've dealt with a tricky customer, for example, you might want to take some time out, sit down, reflect upon it, and then write out what happened, what was the good things, because that will reveal solutions that you don't always think about in the moment. How many times have you walked away from a conversation and thought, I should have said this, I should have said that. When they said that to me, I should have responded in this way. So reflective journaling is very good for that. And here we're talking about, maybe you're a fiction writer, maybe you want to write stories. So you can start to reflect on what might that character do and come up with all sorts of creative situations that your character might get in. So insight, you gain insight when you reflect, and we want to live from the inside out. And of course, you get that personal growth. So the other thing is, have a notebook, maybe not one that's like this, have a little notebook. Many great writers had little notebooks. Roald Dahl, for example, I used to teach Roald Dahl to young children. And one of the things about him, he had a little notebook, could be an A6 notebook, nice and light. And every time he got an idea, he wrote it down. Or every time he read, now the wheel's been invented, I'm going to let you into this. So the wheel's been invented, and every time he would read somebody else's work and he liked a sentence or he liked a phrase or whatever else, he would write it down. Maybe not to use exactly the same, or maybe he would. Because every book's got some form of plagiarism in it. Everything's not 100% out of one person's head. There's always something from somewhere that we've heard somebody say, and we think, well, how do we know that? Because maybe you've heard it before, maybe you've read it before. So jot them all down in little moments of inspiration. Maybe you see a child trying something and not giving up. And you might think, oh, I watched a child try to, oh, I don't know, tie their lace or something like that. I don't know, do we still tie laces today? But you know what I mean? You know, they were trying to do something, trying to ride the bike, trying to do skateboarding, whatever. It might be an adult who was trying to do something. Maybe it's a blind person. So write all these things down and look at what you see in life. Great writers look for the evidence around them. They've got their own evidence, of course, but it's great when you look at it, what we call universal evidence. So have your little notebook, capture your ideas, draw sketches, and find snippets of dialogue. I don't know about you, but sometimes in the middle of the night, I get lines of a song or I get lines of a poem or something like that. I think, well, I should write these down. And if you don't want to write them down, maybe you've got a voice note. If you've most people have a phone today, and on the phone, you can do voice notes for yourself on there if you don't have access to pen and paper. But remember, we are talking about journaling, which involves the mechanics of writing or typing. But of course, we've got to have accessibility. So maybe some people are dyslexic, or they've got dyspraxia, or they've had an injury. Maybe they can't write for whatever reason. Then we can use voice notes for that. So the great thing about journaling as an author is you're journaling the ideas for your books and what you want to write, is you're tracking it. So you might have written something 3 or 4 months ago, and then you get a moment, you think, oh, I remember writing something about this character, or I remember writing something that would be good as a plot. So you can flick back and you can find out what that was. And over time with the journaling, you can set yourself goals. And that way then you can measure your achievements. So you have to look at some form of data, whether it's qualitative or quantitative, and be able to measure so you can see what progress you're making. And also, some authors use a journal to track their word count goals. So they might say, I want to write 2,000 words today. So they might write in their journal, today I aim to write 2,000 words, and I need to write about X, Y, and Z. So you spark that creativity by journaling it out, and then you just go on and do it. Keep it in the one book. Don't have it all over the place and have different pieces of writing. So challenging about journaling, finding time and maintaining consistency. So you have to make that time sacrosanct. You have to say, right, let's say you get up at 7 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to get up at 6:45 so I can do my journaling. So you get up 15 minutes earlier. Or you might say, right, at lunch, I'm taking myself away from everybody else and I'm going to write for 50 minutes at my lunchtime. Or you might say, when I get in from my work, or when I'm after my tea, I'm going to sit with my cup of tea, a glass of wine, whatever it is you want to have, a glass of water, and you're going to journal for those 10 minutes. Make it, when you chunk it and you make it doable, like 10 minutes, we can all find 10 minutes. Go to the loo. How many times you've been in the loo and 10 minutes can go by easy, and just go and lock yourself in the loo. And of course, you think you've got writer's block, but I'm saying there's no such thing as writer's block. There's always something you can put on that paper and it will spark, and things will happen. So as I said, we've talked about ways of doing it. So physical notebooks, apps, voice recordings. There's lots of ways that you can journal. There's no excuse not to journal. So reviewing and revising, as I said, we can go back and revisit. There's loads of material and ideas. Everything's in there that you might need for your book, or just to help you for all the ways that we said earlier. Overcoming stress, overcoming some difficulty that you've got. Journaling and getting all the ideas onto the page will really help you, because sometimes in our minds we make things bigger than they really are. I know I'm an overthinker, and that encourages me to procrastinate and to actually not get things done. And when you overthink, you become overwhelmed. So given these short, sharp little things to do that are bite-sized, that are doable, that are time, you find it and you honor it, and then you can use it for many things. And of course, you might have written something a few months back that inspires you, think, oh, I need to talk about that. I need to include that in my book. I need to include it in my next article. Oh, I could write an article on that. So everything you write is never wasted. It's never wasted whatsoever. So another way, you can use it if you're doing a collaborative piece of writing. You might want to share some entries with each other to inspire each other. And of course, if you've got a joint projects, or it sparks creativity. Now, sharing your journal is very private. It's up to you. Some people will share their journal and the insights readily, and other people are not ready to share that journal. That's okay, because you can write what you like in that. You can say what you like. you know, it's as private as you deem it to be. So there we have it. That's just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, about the art of journaling. And the reason, as I said once more, is that I wanted to start with journaling because I want you to start with brain dumping journaling if you've never done journaling before. Maybe if you're used to journaling, maybe you've not done it for a while, let's start again. The journaling can prompt so many things, for blogging, for vlogging, all sorts of things that you definitely can do to help you. So there you have it. Any questions, put them below the video. Unfortunately, it wouldn't allow me to live stream. It came up with an error. So I have to get my VA, get my technical person onto seeing what the error is, what it means, and why it's not allowing me to be live in the group. So unfortunately, this won't go in today. It'll be in first thing tomorrow morning, and I'll be able to get the replay and things as well if you've been wanting to see it and you didn't quite see this. So I hope you've enjoyed this weekly drive, and I hope there's something there that you can take away as action. So if you begin to comment on this, I will send you out. There's a workbook that goes with it. No, I don't use that word, sorry. Change it again. There's a play sheet that goes with this. That it's just prompts to help you get started, and there's a PDF of what I've just gone through. And I hope to see you again, because we're doing lots of amazing stuff all about writing, whether it's for your blog, whether it's for a book, whether it's for your copy, whether it's for writing articles, whatever it is. I want you to fall in love, first of all, with the words, secondly, with the art of writing, and who knows where it will take you. So this is Brenda saying, remember, be brilliant always, and much love. And until next week and our next weekly drive, to the bit.